that splits into jugular and subclavian, and it does that on both sides.
And are you going to ask about the lymphatic duct that right here? Are you going to ask anything about that?
If I put a pin there, yeah. So this is the right lymphatic duct drains here, and the thoracic duct drains at that junction there. Coming out of the left ventricle, you have the aortic arch, so that's that right there. This first branch off the aortic arch is the brachiocephalic artery. There's only one brachiocephalic, and it's just that short little portion there. It splits into 3 here, so you've got your carotid on either side, and then you've got your right subclavian. The second branch off the aortic arch, that's the left subclavian. So the subclavian is with the carotids, and this one is separate. Then the aorta curves around like that. This is called the descending aorta. You have the inferior vena cava that's also coming out of the right atria. Those run down, and this cat I'm going to remove these organs. So the descending aorta is here, the inferior vena cava is here. So the first branch off the descending aorta here, that's the celiac artery. The second branch right here, that's the mesenteric. You'll see it's going directly to the mesentery of the small intestine. And then the one off the kidney is the renal artery. The vein is broken, but normally the vein is right there. And then the inferior vena cava and the descending aorta run down at the pelvis. They split into the right and the left iliac, and that will be iliac vein and iliac artery. And then once they run through and they're on the inner thigh, this will be your femoral artery and vein. Okay, for respiratory, we have the larynx, the trachea, that goes down into the lungs. It branches, the first branch will be the primary bronchi. Then you have the lobes of the lungs, so your 3 on the right, 1, 2, 3, superior, middle, inferior. And on the left you have 1 and 2. So this is superior and this is inferior. For, what's the next system? Digestive. Digestive, you start at the oral cavity. What kind of digestion takes place there?
Mechanical.
Then you swallow, the food goes down the esophagus, which is sitting, it's that muscular tube directly behind the trachea. Goes down the esophagus into the stomach. What kind of digestion takes place in the stomach?
Mechanical.
Chemical, yes. Then it leaves the stomach, it enters the first part of the small intestine, the duodenum. Which organs are adding in fluids here?
Liver.
Yes, liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas, which is under the stomach and also tied to the duodenum there.
I can't ever see that like anywhere else.
See, it's this like white bumpy tissue.
That's the
All of
pancreas?
that's the pancreas.
Whoa, that's cool. Looks like styrofoam.
Yeah. This is kind of how endocrine tissue looks. Like it all has a similar appearance to it.
Interesting.
Okay. So the first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. What's the middle called? Jejunum. And what process takes place there?
Absorption.
Absorption. And then you also have propulsion as well. And then the last part of the small intestine, so this area here, this is the ileum. And then you enter the large intestine. So the curve where you enter the large intestine is called what?
Cecum.
Cecum, yes. And then this whole thing on the cat, this is all just colon. On the human, if I asked, you would label the part like ascending, transverse, descending, sigmoid. And then that runs down, and then about right there, you kind of see that muscle tone change right there. That's the rectum.
It's like on the questions with the cat. So you're gonna have like them identify like a
Yeah,
say,
there'll be a pin sticking
you'll
here.
identify that part. Are you gonna ask questions about it, like what does this do, or you know?
Yeah, I could. I'm gonna have less of those questions.
Okay.
I'm less likely to ask those on the cat and more likely on the models.
Gotcha.
Just because the cat stations, I mean, there's only 2 cats, so there'll probably be 5 pins in both cats. Okay, so that was digestive. Then for, what's next? Urinary? For urinary, we have the kidneys. What's the little party hat on the kidney called?
Adrenal gland.
Yes. Okay. And then the tube that runs out of the kidney and down to the bladder, what's that? Ureter. And then the bladder is here. Normally it looks very much like a balloon. Hers is
Bladders are so different. They're so inconsistent.
I think that maybe she had urine in hers and so it's solid and that's why hers is hard, but on the male cat it's very like balloon-like. Okay, so that's urinary. Reproductive, what is this structure right here?
That's the ovaries.
This is the uterus.
That's
This
uterus.
is the ovary.
Ah, that's right. That's like the egg. So uterus,
Ovary.
Ah.
So just really important when you're looking that you like watch where that tube goes, because when these both are pinned, they look very similar, but that's the ureter and that's the uterus.
So just make sure it's attached to the kidney.
That it's attached to the kidney or attached to the ovary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, and then what organ is this?
Oh,
Liver.
Wait, no.
This is the liver.
Oh.
This is the spleen.
But that spleen looks so different.
So let's go over all the internal organs again. These are the
Right lung.
these are the lungs. This is the heart.
Heart.
This is
The liver.
the liver. This whole thing is the liver. This little green sac is the
Gallbladder.
Gallbladder.
gallbladder. This is the
Pancreas. No.
Stomach.
Stomach. Yep.
Stomach.
underneath the stomach is the
That's the pancreas.
that's the pancreas. This is the
Spleen.
spleen, and then this is the just like in general small intestine. This is the just in general
Large intestine.
kidneys. This is this right here.
The
The ovary. Oh, that's the
ovaries
uterus.
and
That's the uterus.
uterus.
This is
That's
the ovary.
I was trying to see if it was attached. It kind of is attached more to the.
Yeah, it's like pulled more out to the side of the body. See how it's like sealed to the side of the body rather than the back.
Good to know.
This is the omentum, by the way. You said that word. That's the blanket.
It covers the intestines.
So that's
Makes you
all
hungry.
for the cat.
That's everything for the cat.
No.